What is good, YouTube? What is good? It's been a while. Hope you guys had a great Christmas. Let me know what you guys got in the comments below. We are at the gas station. For some reason I can't flip the camera around, but this is the whip right here. Volkswagen 2019 Jetta something. I don't really know. I'm not a car guy, but we needed gas, and I tried to start the video before I got to the gas station, and I ruined it. So we're gonna start from here. That's how cold it is. Look at. Oh, I also ruined my car mount. I don't know how. Hold up. So I'm afraid that this is gonna mess up while I'm driving. Can you guys see me? Oh. We are back, baby. Hold up. Let me get a little Rice Krispie treat in me. We need to do a little intro too, because that doesn't count. Nope. A little bit of Tekka? Nah. Bruno. Oh, here we go, here we go.
Why self-life?
Ran out of digits, we ran out of money. We ran out of digits, we ran out of money. We got London on the track.
Nigga, hustles don't stop, they keep going. Yeah. You can lose your life, but it gon' keep going. Why not risk life when it's gon' keep going? Yeah. When you die, somebody else was born, but at least we got to say we ran out of digits, we ran out of the money. We ran out of digits, we ran out of the money. We ran out of digits, we ran out of the money. We ran out of digits, we ran out of the money. We ran out of digits, we ran out of some money. We ran out of digits, we ran out of some money.
Yo, Free Thugga. I don't even know what's going on with that anymore. Isn't he like still tied up with all that shit? Oh, delicious, man. I'm so excited to train. Motivation's been peak. We're all tapped into the form pill. Everyone's biting off my shit. It is what it is. At least it's a positive influence. It's just insane, you know? Give a homie some credit, right? Everyone's talking about, oh, fixing your form. I wonder where they got that from. Oh, but how are we doing, fellas? How was your Christmas? Oh my God, again! Yo, I'm gonna crash out, chat. I'm gonna crash out. I can't do this and drive at the same time. This is not okay. All right, this is a new angle. New angle unlocked. I kind of like this. This is actually up close and personal. You guys can see, I don't know what I'm gonna say, but yeah. Anyway, I had beef tenderloin, Hawaiian sweet potato, and you know, your typical vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, cheese sauce, some buns, and then Biscoff cheesecake for dessert. It wasn't like your typical Christmas. We didn't really have too much family around, so yeah, it was just kind of a little chill Christmas, but you know, it is what it is. Did we bloat max? Of course. I mean, it's not Christmas unless you do bloat max, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the camera's gonna go when I turn. Oh my God, I'm gonna freak out. Okay, whatever. It's because I have this massive Intra. There we go. Hopefully it shouldn't. This is rookie season, bro. Oh shit. Okay. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm a professional, okay? All right, third time's the charm. What is good? What is good? How are we doing? Hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas. We are driving to the gym, another full body session. You already know. We've taken a little step back from YouTube the last, couple days. I was just chilling. I've been I've been working, I've been just kind of taking my foot off the gas a little bit. I've been grinding this whole year. So trying to take some time to myself when I can has been very nice. And so what have I been doing? I've been hanging out with I say hanging out online in Discord. I've been talking to my IRLs, my friends. And I've been playing Minecraft. Bro. I'm not a big Minecraft guy, but when it comes to certain mod packs, I've been playing Static Industries, and I first fell in love with this mod pack like a year ago, and I think I almost beat it. It's like a factory-based, automation-based Minecraft pack, kind of based on like Factorio. I don't know if you guys know Factorio. I love that game too. I honestly want to start like a series. Maybe we just ditch the fitness content and become like a gaming streamer, or make YouTube videos of game. No, I'm just kidding. I'll never do that. But that's what I've been doing, and I found that I'm able to do my incline steps while walking on the while playing Minecraft. And now you have to be kind of thoughtful so that you're not resting your body weight, or a decent percentage of your body weight on the desk, because that's going to like counteract the whole benefit of walking on the incline. But if you just rest your forearms on the desk, it's really not going to take much. You can account for it. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Body weight's kind of chilling. I've been eating around 5,000 cals, 4,500, 5,000 cals after that little reset that I did. And everything's been going good, man. Everything's been going good. I've been focusing on my form, playing around with different setups, and yeah, I'm enjoying training. I'm actually not looking forward to how busy the gym's gonna be, especially post-Christmas. Oh, it's just an absolute disaster. I know that's like a worldwide thing because, you know, everyone, new year, new me type shit. Which, you know what? Hey, as a coach, I love it. I'm all for it. But as someone who loves the gym and wants to train and stick to the same schedule and the same exercise selection, it's kind of rough. But you know what? We'll get it done. Oh. So 2 things I need to do is, 1, I need to make sure I drink my drinks prior to getting into the gym. I want to make sure that I slam my pre-workout pretty much now. Should I be having this coffee? No, but I had a bunch of work to catch up on because I was a little bit slow during Christmas, which I feel like is a very understandable thing. But yeah, so this is like my morning coffee. I didn't have my morning coffee, so I'm gonna have this and then the pre-workout. Is that overkill? Yes. Am I an extreme individual? Absolutely. Absolutely exquisite, one might say. I've been digging these Rice Krispie treats prior to the gym. That's one thing that's been getting me lately, is my hunger levels while I'm training. Because I'm a big ass back and I like to eat, I've been trying to limit my intra-workout carbohydrates, or just overall calories, and it's honestly I've shot myself in the foot essentially, because it's not the intra-session fatigue that gets me from these long sessions, it's the hunger. So I actually need 100 to 150 grams of carbohydrates intra-session just to get me through the sheer amount of exercises and the amount of time that I spend in the gym. Otherwise, once that hunger sets in for me, I'm cooked. The productive sets are just gone at that point. So I've been really trying to carb max, especially pre-workout. So I'll have my typical cream of rice, my protein, my nut butter, my dates, my berries, and then I'll have 2, maybe sometimes 3 Rice Krispie treats about like 20 to 30 minutes prior to training, and then I'll have about 100 grams of carbohydrates in my intra-workout. I'm going to be playing with increasing that to about 150, which is going to limit how much food I'm going to eat post-training, but I've been playing with maybe doing 20K incline, but we'll see. I've brought my incline steps, or my total amount of steps, down on my rest days, or I've been trying to, from 40K to 30K, just so I could have a little bit more time to myself, just because 40K steps on a rest day is a whole day's worth of walking. Essentially, it's like 7 hours of walking. About about 10 minutes per 1,000 steps, right? So you can do the math. About 400 minutes. Yeah, 400 minutes of walking. On my rest days, I do about 300 minutes of walking on my training days, because you do burn, especially when you're training like this style, full body, and you're doing more in-session volume, you do burn a decent amount of calories. Nothing crazy. Everyone overestimates how many calories they burn. Like, you're not running a marathon, but I would predict it to be at least 500 calories, especially the way that I train. But at the end of the day, when you're trying to calculate the calories burned during exercise, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You should never try to micromanage your TDEE like that and say, oh, well, I walked 35,000 steps and I trained full body with this many exercises and I walked at this. Like, it's never gonna work. You're never gonna be able to actually calculate how many calories you burn. You know what you do? You standardize it, so you do the same thing for a week, and then you set your calories at a specific target, and then you assess your trends. You look at your body weight, you look at the scale, you look at the scale and you look at the mirror, okay? That is how you assess if you are in a deficit or in a surplus or at maintenance. And sometimes it's not that intuitive. Sometimes it's a little bit harder, and that's why you need, or you don't need, but that's why you would benefit from someone with an experienced eye to be able to overlook your process to make sure that you are doing everything correctly. But this whole TDEE maxing thing has spawned a bunch of people that are just hyper, like, over excessive, way too fixated and obsessed about the specific exact number of calories, because they're trying to match perfectly their expenditure to their intake, which is never going to be the case. And honestly, it's not an eating disorder per se, but it's in the same realms as that, right? So it's definitely something that I wouldn't recommend you do. Just understand the principle of, if you want to eat more at maintenance, then you have to do more like energy expenditure, right? That's simple thermodynamics. Shout out Ryan Jewers, the homie, my Canadian brother. I'm hoping to eventually do something with him, some type of collab. That'd be awesome. I mean, obviously we live on opposite sides of Canada, but that's someone I would love to collaborate with. I've always been a Ryan Jewers fan. I'm planning Houston sometime early next year. That is the plan. Do some collabs. My boy Mundy, Booney Badger. I'd love to do something with those guys. That'd be awesome. There was a topic that I was going to try to talk to you guys about, and it was about resetting technique. Excuse me. A lot of people reset their form based on what I was talking about, and that's great. But the issue is it's not just a one session thing, because if it was a one session thing, form wouldn't have gotten that out of hand. It's motor pattern relearning, and that's going to take a lot longer than one session. So what I recommend is, chances are your technique needs work, and to fix your technique, it's going to take multiple sessions, sometimes even multiple months. And you can always work on technique, and you can work on technique while still progressing. Remember that it's not just a black and white thing, right? There's going to be a spectrum. And especially when you are resetting your technique, you're working with newer weights, with newer form, you have to make sure that you don't creep back into old habits the second the next session comes around. So what I recommend is actually taking, if you're doing something like full body, I'm just assuming if you're watching me, then chances are you're running full body. But if you are repeating the same exercises across the week, which in my opinion you should be taking multiple weeks just refining technique, not going into your sessions thinking about, I'm gonna progress this session. Just think about keeping technique at the forefront of your mind, making sure that you are controlling the eccentric, you are contracting the muscle, you are not using momentum, and then over time, progression will happen. The weights that you use and the reps that you hit those weights for will become too easy for your desired relative intensity, and that is progression. That is progression. You don't need to fixate and overly fixate on trying to add a rep or a little bit of weight every single session. It doesn't make sense, it's not practical. And all that it's going to do is you're going to change the task every single time you perform the movement. And that's not what we want. We want to keep the task the same. So don't go into your session thinking that I'm going to progress. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I'm telling you, that is going to help you from a mental standpoint of not having that performance anxiety, because that is something that kills a lot of people's motivation to train when they have that performance anxiety and they have that expectation of themselves that they have to progress every session. It's a terrible trend that's kind of occurred on social media. And the people that are saying that they progress every session, they're not progressing every session, because what's happening is they're changing the task. Even if you have a slightly educated eye or you are somewhat experienced, you can assess these people's technique and you can see little changes. You can see how they're speeding up parts of the movement that they weren't speeding up. They're using slight compensation and orientation strategies to finish the movement just to adhere to this arbitrary I progressed logbook today. Another thing that people focus way too much on is the actual implement that they're using, whether that's a pad on your ankle or a plate on your foot or a dumbbell or a handle on in your hand. And what they want to do is they're just trying to arbitrarily move that implement as far as possible through space without any recollection, without any focus on what's actually occurring at the joint, right? We're trying to, like, for example, one second. Okay, that is the mango electrolyte. That is delicious. So for example, take a bicep curl, right? Remove the thought of the implement in your hand. I don't care about how far that implement moves. I care about what's going on at your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulder. I want to flex the elbow, and just flex the elbow. Don't worry about anything else. Keep everything in line and just contract your bicep and let the implement go to where it wants to go. Don't force anything. Don't force ranges of motion. Full range of motion is completely arbitrary. You don't need to touch the pad. You don't need to touch something to standardize range of motion. All that's going to do is have you focus on the wrong things. You need to focus on what's going on inside. So for example, another thing is like a seated leg curl or a lying leg curl. A seated leg curl tapping the back of the machine, or a lying leg curl having the pad hit your butt, or a leg press trying to move that plate, that foot plate, as far as possible through space without having any actual focus on what's going on at the knee. We're trying to maximize knee flexion whilst minimizing the rest of the movement that's happening in your body. So I want that pelvis locked down. I don't want it to roll underneath you. Sometimes, especially when you're performing leg pressing or hack squats or pendulum squats, less range of motion is better for your quads. You're trying to keep tension on your quads. We're not trying to offload that tension on surrounding structures. We're not trying to use compensation strategies to just move the weight through space, right? We're trying to place that tension on the target muscle. And in order for you to do that, you need to have more of an internal focus of attention. Now, this is something that I've talked about, internal focus and external focus of attention. I believe these terms are coined by Chris Beardsley. I don't know 100%. If they aren't, then I apologize, but that's where I've learned them from. And yes, it's true that by having more of an internal focus of attention, focusing on mind-muscle connection can limit performance. You have to ask yourself, is that because if you have an external focus of attention that you are using supporting musculature and compensation strategies, orientation strategies to move the load through space? That's a question, right? We have to look at all the different variables. We can't just take this theory or this idea as at face value. You have to understand that there's much more going on when it comes to biomechanics and anatomy than what it's portrayed out to be. It's not as black and white. Saying that, oh, okay, if you want fully developed lats, okay, you just do a sagittal plane movement and a frontal plane movement. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Okay, wait, that's the mango electrolyte. Like, it's not, oh, you just do a frontal plane movement, you do a sagittal plane lat movement, you have Phil Heath lats, right? There's much more that goes on behind the scenes. It's how you perform these movements. What other muscles what other joint actions are occurring at the same time? Are we making sure that we are isolating that target tissue? Are we making sure that we are applying that tension to the target muscle? Are we progressing without compensating, etc., right? So there's much more that goes on. Oh my God. There's much more that goes on behind the scenes, and that's why I believe, especially what I've seen in the 2025 science-based lifting community and the absolute piss poor technique that a lot of people have had, I believe that more focus on feel and more focus on mind-muscle connection and actually feeling the target muscle work is going to be much more important than people give it credit for. So with that being said, I'm about to hit the gym. I didn't drink my drinks. You guys didn't remind me, so I'm actually choked. Okay, shame on you. But hopefully you guys have a fantastic day, and maybe I'll see you guys after. All right, peace.